What in the world? Nobody cares. First of all, I'll tell you it's a great town. Fort Collins, Colorado. It's a great town. It's like Boulder a long time ago. Nobody cares about Colorado State, and that seems to be bothering the coach at Colorado State. You don't even know who it is. You do now. And I'm here to tell you that's not a good thing. I know some people think it's a really cool thing. I'm going to tell you it's a really bad thing, actually. No one cared. No one knew you. No one talked about you. You were completely irrelevant. And some people are going to argue, and I will argue back, the attention right now is not a good thing. You see, getting attention in college football usually is pretty positive because you're in the sales business, right? That's all college football is. It is. You're in sales. And you're closing on 17-year-olds. So publicity and hype and all the stuff you see Deion Sanders is so good at, when you're good, that's what you need to do. But see, when you get in the middle of it and then you get your ass kicked, not so good. Not so good. It's not a good idea. So you got to be able to back it up. And when you're the head coach of Colorado State, you really can't back it up. The head coach at Colorado State on one of the, the lamest thing in all of media is coaches shows. I didn't even know we still had them. I used to be obsessed with them because they're so bad. They're like late night infomercials. Like the guy who remember the guy, it's one of my favorite. Oh, it's a really cheap infomercial. I think he ended up going to prison. And he sits at a table, and then somebody right across from him gives him a book, and he memorizes the entire book in like 20 seconds. That guy, I forget his name, but I'm obsessed with him. Not because I believe him, it's just that it's so bad, I find it kind of entertaining. That's what coaches shows are. No one watches them, and no one cares until you do something like this. Why in the world would you talk trash right now, head coach of Colorado State?
And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
You don't. Maybe you probably don't understand that yet. He's making fun of Deion Sanders. I think it's a really bad move, not because it's Deion Sanders, but it's an extra bad move because Deion Sanders' son is going to torch you. That's why it's a bad move. You called attention to yourself, which some people would say is the right thing to do when you're in the sales business to 17-year-olds. But see, when you call attention to yourself and you act like a jackass and you make fun of the other coach, it's not then a good idea to get your butt kicked. You know why? Because Deion Sanders, he's probably going to make everyone know he just kicked your butt. See, you're going to look really stupid unless you win, which you're not. But unless you win, then that's really kind of funny and cool. So what he's saying is Deion Sanders, of course, all the time wears sunglasses and a hat. Sometimes he wears this cowboy hat, partly because he's got giant ears. And I kind of don't blame the guy. He looks young to be as old as he is, having been through all that he's been through and almost losing a leg this summer. The guy looks amazingly good. So that is Jay Norvell, who's the head coach of Colorado State. They're not any good. And he never mattered until today. And for some reason, he felt like it was a good idea to talk trash. All right, here's what he said again. And, of course, Deion Sanders has responded.
And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
Huh. Man, you're cool. How many people were clapping? 2? Like his kids are in the audience at some pizza place? You're at Gaddy's in Fort Collins, and your kids are in the audience clapping. Bad move. You tool. Why go there, you tool? You're a recycled head coach at Colorado State. The entire football world is interested now because Deion Sanders is involved now. And you now gave him a reason. More importantly, you've given his son a reason to torch you. And you know what? When they're done torching you, they're not going to let up on how bad they torch you, you fool. Like, I get it. Deion Sanders can be. he can be too much. I get it. I mean, I can see how some people think that. But the reason all summer why I said that he's the best thing to happen to the college football industry is exactly what this knucklehead just did. It is stiff. It is self-righteous. It is plastic. It is old man-like. And the industry needed a breath of fresh air, and he's that. And this guy has been out of shape about it, like most of the football industry has been out of shape about it, because everything he's doing, he's just doing it better than you. And he's laughing about it and having a good time with it, and you're struggling. But you fool, what made you think that was a good idea, buddy? Why go there? You know, by now, at some point, the energy of Colorado has got to run. It's got to run out. They are limited. They're not, they're far better than most of us realize. His son is far better than any of us had known. He's legitimate first rounder, if not in the top 8 of the draft. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody playing quarterback right now better than his son. But you just think they would run out of steam. So then you turn around, and a very guy who's made his life and his whole inspirational pitch to players is finding a reason to fight. And you just gave him a reason. You fool. You are dumb. The thing to do when you're Colorado State, or any school for that matter, but if you're Colorado State and you're going to Boulder and everyone's going to watch, is not get your ass kicked. You better not. You better not. But you know what his son will do now? You know what? When they're up by 30, guess what he's going to do? He's going to make it 37. Yeah. Yep. They're going to drive that stake right into you, buddy. So don't give them a reason to kick your ass, because Colorado drills you. They're going to make a fool out of you in the process. So Deion Sanders, of course, has responded in a Deion-like kind of way.
I'm minding my own business, watching some film, trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I can be. And I look up and I read some bull junk that Dan said about us.
Talk to us.
Once again,
talk to us.
Why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts off, and do our job on Saturday. Yes, but when they give us ammunition, they done messed around and made it what? It was just going to be a good game. They done messed around and made it personal. It was going to be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal.
Go out to them last security guards.
You think he wasn't going to use this? Really? This is why every network is going there. Not to mention his son is worth the price just to watch him play. But you heard that was the players. That was the players. You think he can't sell this? You think the man can't sell it. Really? He has those guys thinking they'll beat anybody. And they're the ones screaming back, it's personal. You fool. You fool. If I were your boss, I'd say, come sit down for a second. This is what they don't do in college football, because coaches run the campus, which is a mistake. They have no bosses. They're accountable to no one. But what should happen, Jay, sit down next to me for a second. You know you're Colorado State, right? We're not any good. You're not any good. You're really not even going to be here that long. So let me tell you what, buddy. That was foolish. You thought he was cute, thought it was funny, called attention to our program. His name is Jay. I believe he coached at Texas at one time. Jay, you know what you better do? You better win. Because if you get your ass kicked, you're going to look really foolish, and I'm not going to have your back. So good luck to you, bud. Have a nice time. Because I think, the guy that plays quarterback for them, he's a lot better than our quarterback. A lot. Okay? And then this other dude who plays both ways, he's better than anyone we have. And so those two guys are going to get mad. And then they're going to think you're talking trash on them. And then that kid's going to throw like 560 yards. And we're going to get drilled. And then you know what they're going to do? They're going to remind us of it all the way home. Oh. That, coaches there's something else, man. And he is driving the industry crazy. He really is. It's great to watch. And I fully do. I can accept by somebody says it's just too much. It's not too much. Not right now. And it's driving them crazy, and you can see how it's driving them crazy. Here's a dude who takes over Colorado State. You know what? Colorado State beat Colorado last year. Do you know that? That's how bad Colorado was. Colorado arguably was the worst team in college football a year ago. They lost every game by an average of 26 points. Colorado State beat them a year ago. What do you think is going to happen now? And you don't think he's not going to remind him of that? I will bet, I'm trying to think when in the process Deion Sanders takes his glasses off. He's going to take the hat off, and he's going to take the glasses off about the time he hugs his son after his son throws for 600 yards.